Let's take a look at GeoPack Survey's Subdivision Wizard. I already have a parcel created here. It's parcel 29357,002, and I wish to divide this parcel into 5 lots. To do this, I'll go to Geometry, Tools, Subdivision Wizard. If Coordinate Geometry, or COGO, is not already active, I'll be prompted to activate COGO. And then I can minimize my COGO window and then move up my Subdivision Wizard dialog box into my view. This will show me my active GPK file, a pull-down list of parcels that I can choose to subdivide, in my case 29357,002, and also an icon for display settings. If I click this icon, I will see that I can display items such as main parcel, my frontage, my edit lines, my lot lines, setback lines, committed lines, azimuth and distance, and display area. I also have the choice to window center about the current line and annotate my current line. If I wish to change any of the line symbologies, I'll simply click on that twice, and that will open up the GeoPack Set Feature option. This will allow me to choose my level, color, line style, and line weight. If I wish to change the text display, I simply double click on those, and once again I can change my level, color, my weight, and since it's text I can change my text height, text width, and my font. I'll click OK to save my display settings, and then I will click Next on the Subdivision Wizard, and I'll be prompted for a start point and an end point with which to define my frontage that I wish to subdivide along. The frontage is always defined in a clockwise direction regardless of the direction the parcel was stored in initially. To define my start point, I'll click this icon, and then I will zoom in to XP2344. I'll click once and I'll see a circle around this point, and then I'll click a second time to choose that point for my start point. For my end point, I will zoom in about 2346, and you can see that I'd actually already chosen this earlier, but to demonstrate I'll click this icon, click on my point XP2346 once to display the highlight circle, and then a second time to load that point into my dialog box. Now I can click Next, and that will allow me to determine how many lots I would like to divide this parcel into. Zoom out slightly. And I actually have two choices here. I have number of lots and I have minimum area. And with the minimum area settings you can specify of course a minimum area and then have GeoPack Survey decide how many lots of that minimum area will fit within the parcel. I will choose number of lots and I will divide that parcel into 5 lots. I'll click Next, and now I have a direction option where I can choose how I would like the sidelines of the lots to be defined off the frontage. Most of the time you'll choose radial and perpendicular, but you also have the option for a fixed direction. I'll choose radial/perpendicular and click Finish. That will bring up my lot line navigator, and then it will also bring up a preview of the first lot which I'm working on. I'm editing this line, and I will see previews of the bearings and distances as well as the lot areas to either side of my edit line. I'll zoom in a little bit closer on that so we can see this more clearly. The lot line navigator has quite a few buttons and pull downs, the first of which is a pull down to select a line to edit. You may need to hit refresh from time to time to clear out the temporary graphics and see the line you are editing at the time. Let's go back to line 1, and over to the right I have first line, previous line, so there is no previous to 1, next line, and then last line, line 4 in our case here. There's the option to window center current line, and then next to these VCR type controls you can go back to your display settings, which we'd previously discussed. There's the option for annotate current line. This turns on and off the annotation for the line you are currently editing as well as the lots to either side within the parcel. There is Edit Line, which contains many options that we'll look at in a moment. There is Commit Current Line, which will let you save or commit the edits you've made to the line. There's Commit All Lines, which says that you are done with all of the lots in the parcel and you'd like to commit all lines. There's Recompute Lot Lines, and then there are Undo Edits Past Current Line to undo any operations. Let's take a brief look at this icon, which is Recompute Lot Lines. What this does is take us back to the Subdivision Wizard lot constraints, and I could redefine how many lots I would like to subdivide into, or I could make a change and say that I wish to specify my lots by a minimum area. I can also reset my side direction option for sidelines, and then I can choose whether I would like to recompute all, or recompute current block only, or quit. I'll go ahead and quit and keep my 5 lot settings for this parcel to subdivide. And then we'll take a look at Edit Line, which provides most of our functionality for this Subdivision Wizard tool. My Subdivide Edit for line editing options, the first one I'll see is Adjust Line Perpendicular or Radial. What this will do is essentially let me slide my lot line along the frontage, and it will keep that line perpendicular or radial to my frontage. To demonstrate this, I'll click Data Point Adjust Line, move into the area that I wish to edit, and you'll see automatic updates of both the area and the bearings and distances of this lot line. Simply left click to accept that, and then I'll click Update View to refresh that location shown on my screen. The next option I have here is Adjust Point by Distance, and this command allows me to move just one end of my line either along the frontage or the rear line of the parcel by a certain distance. So let's say I would like to move this back line by 10 feet. We'll do Data Point, and then I will click on my rear parcel line once and then twice to finalize that position. And then that parcel line will be moved to the side that I've clicked on, in this case over to the left by 10 feet. If I wish to put that back, I could simply do Data Point, Slide Point again, and click on the rear parcel line twice to reset that lot position. The next option here for line editing options is the Hinge Point and Area. This tool lets me anchor one end of the line and then specify a set area with which to make the lot. To do this, I'll click on Data Point, Hinge Point, click once and then twice to provide a highlight circle around the area around the end of the line that I wish to anchor. Then I will specify a square feet or square meters depending on your units, and then say Apply. And now we will see, as I click Update View, the new configuration for this first lot and the new area. I will go back and change that area to roughly 23,000 square feet. Once again, I will lock the same end of the line and then say Apply. Click Update View, and now my lot line is reflecting this bearing and direction as well as an area of 23,000 square feet. The next option for line editing is Hinge Point and Width. This will allow me once again to anchor one end of the line, but then specify a particular width at a certain setback. So let's say a width of 65 at a setback of 25 for this line I'm currently editing. I can also specify an additional width at another setback if I wish. I'll click DP Hinge Point to define the end of the line that I wish to anchor. I'll see a preview circle upon the second click, and then I will say Apply to make those changes come into effect. And we'll see that the bottom portion of the line here has changed to a width of 64.170, and it will give us a width of 65 at a setback of 25. The next option is a Hinge Point and a Direction option. And this will allow me once again to define a hinge point I'll choose the front portion of this lot, and then I can define my line direction option by radial and perpendicular or a fixed direction. Let's say I will give this new direction, let's make this 10 degrees azimuth, and I will say apply. Obviously I was incorrect in my direction specification here, but this is easy to fix. I'll change this azimuth to be 350 degrees and then click apply. And now we'll see that I have a azimuth or bearing of north 10 degrees west. I'll click update view to refresh my graphics, and then we'll go and look at the next option here, which is width and direction. This command is essentially a combination of the hinge point and width command as well as the hinge point and direction command. And that the width and direction command allows me to specify a width 1 or 2 at a particular setback, let's say 68 at a setback of 30 in this case, and then also allows me to specify a direction for the sideline. Let's change this azimuth to be 340 degrees, and then I will click apply. That will update my current line to the new direction, and then also update so that I have a width of 68 at a setback of 30 now. You can see that this is seriously constraining the back portion of the lot, so I'll change this azimuth back to a 350 degree azimuth, and then I will minimize my setback to be a setback width of 66 at 25 feet. Then I will click apply, update view, and we'll see the new changes take effect. The next option here is minimum width and area for editing our lines. This command will allow me to specify a particular area, let's say 23,000 square feet in this case, and then specify a width at a particular setback. Let's change this to be 60 at a setback of 25. And I can also specify a second width if I desire at another setback, which I'll leave that blank, and I'll say apply. Click update view. We'll see my new area of 23,000, that I have a setback at least 60 in width at 25 feet. And we can see that because the front of the lot is 73.715 and then the rear of the lot is 70.521. The last option is area and direction. Now this will let me set a particular area. Let's change this to 25,000 and then specify a fixed direction or radial and perpendicular. I'll choose radial and perpendicular in this case, and then I will click apply. Click update view. We'll see the new area reflected as well as the new bearing and distance for my lot line. I will click OK to close out of this. And the procedure for the other lots would be very similar. It would just be a repetitive process for the various lines to subdivide the parcel. Once I'm pleased with all the lots and their areas and bearings and distances, I can click either line by line to commit a current line, which in our previous case was line 1, which will move me automatically to the second line. And if I'm happy with all of these lines, I can simply click commit all lines, which will commit all of my changes to my parcel and my lots. Once that is complete, we'll see the write to COGO command become available, and that will allow me to specify my starting point number or name, point features for this, line elements, curves, parcels, symbology for the parcels, as well as features for any of these items if I desire. Once I click apply, Geopack will begin writing all that information to my COGO window and then draw in the parcel and the lot lines for me. I will click update view and close the lot line navigator, and we'll see our main parcel and then my lines that subdivide my parcel are stored, and these lines can be labeled with any typical Geopack plan labeling tools.